Guys, what's up? Trace here. I am really excited to share this video with you. It's been a long time coming, I feel. So many of you ask me all the time about my creative processes, how I move so quickly on ideas, how I navigate being stuck or being in self-doubt, or when I'm bringing an idea 5D to 3D, when I'm birthing my visions and how I kind of move through that energy. So I thought that I would do a little video here to share some behind the scenes of my book writing process, which has been going down for the last few months. And I think that this will be really useful for you, not just if you're writing a book, but anything that you're birthing right now, anything that you're trying to bring to life, any of your visions. Please apply if you want to some of these tips, and hopefully they can support you in bringing your big hearted visions to life. So I'm cracking up right now because I'm looking at my setup. And one of the key messages in my book is about not worrying about having all your shit together, and we don't need the shiny stuff to do our light work. Like, our radiant presence is enough, and us being in the joy of our light work is how we keep moving and all of that jazz. And I'm looking at my setup right now. I have my iPhone sitting on 3 books stacked up, leaning on a candle to hold it up like this, and I'm just filming in my lounge room. And I had a vision that I needed to get a new camera and get some better lighting and get all these things. Until today I was like, you know what? I don't fucking need any of that. You can receive my transmission, you can receive my radiance. So let that be a memo to you that you don't need all the shiny stuff unless you really want to, unless you are at that stage right now. So just rock it how you are is what I want to tell you. Okay, so let's talk about, I've got about 5 notes here that will help you with your creative processes, hopefully. First one is, anytime you get stuck, sit in ceremony with your creation. I just had a conversation with a friend today about this exact thing, how it's so important right now to rewrite our relationship with our creative visions and what that actually looks like. And I think it's such a groovy time because we're starting to see business and we're starting to see our creative energy very differently than how we used to, and the conversations and the understanding around that. So what I like to do with anything that I'm creating is always sit in ceremony with it, and this is going to look different for everyone. It might resonate with you and it might not. This is the easiest way for me to ground or sit in the certainty of my creation, sit in the seat of certainty of my vision, sit in the seat of certainty of my dreams coming into their full manifestation. And my dreams being my vision, my book, my online courses, my workshop, my podcast, anything that I create, it is my responsibility to get intimate with the expression of that particular creative project or vision. Right? So we're a team. You and your creation, you and your vision are a team. But a lot of us are just thinking that it's a one-man show, and it's not. So what I mean by sit in ceremony with your creation, anytime that you feel stuck or feel in your head, you have to tune in to the higher vision beyond just the 3D manifestation of it. So what's the higher vision for my book? What's the higher vision for my courses? What's the higher vision of this retreat, this workshop, this podcast, this event, whatever? Because it's never just that thing, okay? There's so much more going on than just that thing. And we want to always take the ego or take the me out of it. So anytime that I'd be like, oh, what's the point? No one's going to buy this book. It's probably not even going to be that good. I don't know who it's going to help. There's already so many books like this, like all of that stuff. And you can apply that to the stories that you're getting around your creative projects. Anytime I would go into my head about that, I had to come back to the heart of the creation and sit in ceremony, get your cacao, get a cup of tea, get your oils out, get your incense, set a nice little space up, and just tune into the heart of your creation and let yourself kind of move from that place again. Okay, what do you need from me right now? Who are the women this is going to serve? Or who are the men this is going to serve? Who are the people this is going to serve? Show me where I'm getting blocked. Show me where I'm making this about me. Show me what to do next. Like, hand over the freaking clinging, what it needs to look like and what you need to get from it, okay? You've got to take the clinginess out of it and open up for that creative flow again. Because this is when you get stuck, when you're trying to hold on and control like that. So sitting in ceremony, set up a nice space and tune into who is going to be served through your creation. What does it look like? Like I would always tune in and be like, okay, I'm visualizing a woman who is just starting her awakening journey and feeling really lost and feeling really alone and having a big vision on her heart, and no one around her gets it. And she's trying to explain to her friends and her family, like, no, like this is how I'm going to heal people, and this is how I'm going to serve, and I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to speak on stage, and I'm going to teach these dance workshops, and trying to explain this, and people around her being like, what? I'm writing to that woman, right? So I'd sit in ceremony and I'd sit and I'd visualize this person and I'd say, I'm showing up for you. I'm committed for you. Like it's beyond me now. And that would just shift me so much more into my alignment. So whatever it is you're trying to create right now and you're getting really heady about it, carve out some space to sit in ceremony with your creative vision and let it bring the guidance that you need to keep you moving forward, okay? So the second thing that kind of ties in with that one is letting the vision lead you. Stop trying to control every single thing about what it's going to look like, how many people are going to do it, just all the finer details. That is causing you resistance from just taking the next step, okay? And when you can take your hands off the wheel, like there is so much higher guidance available to you. Your creative vision is trying to lead you and you're getting in the way most of the time, okay? By your agenda and trying to control and trying to know every single detail. So what I kind of mean by letting the vision lead you is always trusting that your creative energy is always trying to pull you somewhere. You've just got to get still enough to listen and to feel what that is, because sometimes it's going to pull you in a direction that is a little bit different to what you thought the next step was. Sometimes it'll look like a step backwards, but it's actually 3 steps forward, okay? So I remember when I first started writing the book, I was like, great, chapter 1. Like I thought in my head, it would be like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And it was like, fucking not. It was like chapter 1, chapter 17, chapter 20, chapter 3, chapter 5, chapter, whatever, 28. All over the place. It was like creative chaos. But as soon as I surrendered to that, it was just like flying out of me. And as soon as I surrendered from it needing to be a perfectly ordered structure or creation or flow, it just was like, I was just going to town on my keyboard. So go where your energy most wants to go. Let the vision lead you by taking your hands off the wheel for a little while. Where does my energy most want to go today? Where does my energy most want to go today? Keep asking yourself that, because your creative energy is very intelligent and it is working. It's like this with your vision, okay? Like it is drawing in the resources. It is drawing in the right people. It is drawing in the right connections at the right time. It is drawing in the title. It is drawing in the next chapter, everything, but you just have to keep moving with where it wants to go, okay? So I even remember the night that I wrote the introduction of the book, and this actually ties in. No, I'm gonna say that in a minute, that story. The third point that I want to say here is know when to rest and know when to rise, okay? Again, moving with your creative energy. We need to trust that we cannot force our visions and we cannot rush them, and we cannot, forcing is what is taking you out of the flow. If you do not have the energy in one particular day, or you're like, I'm just not feeling it, fully surrender to the fact that it is not the day for you, okay? I came up with this, I bumped up against this so many times through my book writing process, and I learned so much from it. I would be sitting down and I'd be trying to force something and it just would not freaking come that day. And as soon as I let go of it, the next day I would have the best book writing day ever. And I'd be like, bang, 3 chapters done. So I think it's really important to be in tune with yourself, or start to build that relationship with your creative energy, or that intimacy with it, knowing that you can trust some days you'll be completely off, because the next day you're going to need to be completely on. And if you're trying to half-ass it on the day off, you're wasting creative energy that could help you go full power the next day. So just really trust that, and note on that one as well, know when it's procrastinating. Like there's a fine line when it's procrastinating and you're beating around the bush versus when you actually need to rest. Okay, that's quite a different energy there. So actually I want to add a little point to that as well. So knowing when to rise, knowing when to rest, and also knowing that creative energy doesn't have a clock. It doesn't know how to tell the time. And I remember when I was asking for guidance, I was like, fuck, I'm just like, I haven't been able to get in my flow for a couple of days. Like, this is kind of frustrating me. Like, usually I'm pretty sweet with this. And my creative energy was kind of like flipping. Like, I always have been someone who gets up and I work in the morning, and that's when my creative energy is very heightened. However, it was the flip. So it was starting to come through at night, which was taking my sleep patterns a bit out of balance, and just like, it was just reorganizing a lot that I wasn't used to. And it'll do that to you as well, because sometimes your creative energy is going to come through when you have least resistance to it. So obviously I was trying to force it in the mornings, which was my usual pattern. It would just come through then. But the book was like, no, I'm a night owl. Like, no, Trace, I'm going to be leading you on this one, buddy. So I remember asking for guidance. I was like, fuck, like, I'm so annoyed that I'm getting up at like 11 p.m. at night. This is so not like me. It's not good for my nervous system, like all these things. And I remember jumping on YouTube and seeing this Chris Martin interview, the lead singer of Coldplay. If you know me, you know that Chris Martin's pretty much like my hall pass. And I've watched like every single YouTube video ever of his, but this one I'd never seen before. So I was like, oh, all right, I'll have a little look-see. And he was talking about his creative process when he's writing music. And something that he said like changed my whole book writing process. It was the best thing ever, and helped me surrender to the time of my creativity. He was talking about how most of his ideas come at like midnight, when he like starts to, like, he wakes up and he'll start to like hear a little tune or hear a song or something, like get the download or the stream of consciousness of the inspiration. And he was saying to the interviewer, like, this whole idea of creativity doesn't have a clock. And he said, it's not up to me when the creative ideas come, because me showing up, no matter how inconvenient, me waking up, or me showing up at 11 p.m. at night, 1 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m., 10 p.m., it doesn't matter. Like, that, me listening to that creative whisper and me taking action on those creative ideas and me being so grateful for the downloads whenever they come, is exactly what has built me this life. So he was saying, I would not be in this house if I didn't get my ass out of bed at 11 p.m. and say thank you so much and get to work with my creative energy. And that just reorganized everything for me, because every time that I would not have a really good writing day, and then I'd kind of get a bit frustrated at it, and I'd just kind of surrender to it and be like, great, tomorrow's gonna be a new day. I'd get to sleep like the second that my head like hits the pillow, my like crown would start tingling, and it's like, Trace, get your laptop open, like it's ready to go. And from watching that video, I never again complained about it. I was like, bring it, all right, we're working tonight, let's do it. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm so grateful that this book is choosing me, and I'm so grateful this vision is choosing me, and I'm so grateful to be the one to bring it 3D. So remember that, like, don't give your creative visions the bird if they're not coming at the right time. Like, gratefully accept them and get moving with them, okay? Your energy knows how to top up your supplies. Like, your creative energy is going to nourish you if you let it, and if you're resisting it, that's when we get burnt out. If we kind of run with it, it actually can energize us and nourish us. So yeah, Chris Martin for inspiration every day. And that's the one thing I remember as well, writing the introduction of my book. I hadn't even thought about the introduction yet, and it wasn't even on my, like, I was like, oh, I'll probably write that at the end. And I'd been writing like a couple of the middle chapters that day or the day before or something. And this is like one of the nights where I got up at like, I think it was 11:30 at night or something. And I was like, all right, I can't sleep. I'm just going to try and write. I'm just going to see what comes out. And I wrote the introduction in 10 minutes. So it was like one of those moments where I was like, cool, listening, like, aye, Captain, I got it. Fourth thing here is, I think this is my favorite point. Let the creation bring out more of you. Let the creation bring out more of you, okay? Your creative vision is choosing you for a reason, because your beautiful expression is a match to its expression. If it's calling you to be more playful, bring out that playful side of you. If it's calling you to be more fiery, bring out that fiery part of you. If it wants you to be really loud and passionate, bring that out. If it's requiring you to soften, bring that out. Like, it is a match to your energetic frequency. and your vision is meant to be an extension and an expression of you, okay? Like, you guys are teammates. So when you're starting to, and I always actually say this, when you can tell when someone's really in their alignment, because their energy and their radiance and their creativity, like, you can see it in them. You can see when their eyes are really lit up, and you can see when their heart's really open, and when they're really tapped into their particular expression or their creative vision, because it's like it's drawing out more of their light. Your creative visions are light energy. They're bringing that out of you. So the more you can be you, the better. The more that you can take away needing to be polished and perfect and poetic and shiny and have everything together, like, that's what that vision wants from you. Like, it's working with you. It's choosing you in particular to be the expression for it. So your creation is going to recreate you, but it's all actually just drawing more of your light and drawing more of your strengths and drawing more of your own radiance that's already there. It's just drawing it out. Okay, so have more fun being you throughout your creative processes. Okay, have more fun learning about new parts of yourself. Have more fun reawakening parts of yourself that maybe you were closing the door on a little bit. And just let the creation really, let yourself be yourself through the creative process, I think is what I'm trying to say there. The last one here is trust in the timing. Oh, I'm saying this as an Aries triple fire sign. Trust in the timing. There was a time, I think it was like halfway through my book writing process, and it was probably about only 3 or 4 months in, and just me being an impatient Aries, I like wanted it done in like one day. And I just remember thinking, fuck, I'm never gonna get this done. Like, I feel so far away. I don't know if I can like pull this off. Like, I thought the book was there, maybe I'm not ready, all those things. And I remember this particular week just getting frustrated because I hadn't got in my flow for a while, or maybe a couple of weeks I'd had a break, and I'm like, fuck, I just really thought that I'd be able to write this. Like, I just expected it was gonna be a little bit easier and not challenge me the way that it did. And I tuned into it. So back to step 1, I sat in ceremony with my book and I asked my book for guidance. And the book said very quickly and very potently and fiercely to me, Trace, you're trying to push out a baby that hasn't formed its legs yet. You're trying to rush a process or rush a trimester when this is the trimester of just nourishing and giving some space and just depositing energy in a very gentle way. Okay, so what are you trying to force out right now that isn't fully formed and isn't fully ready? And can you trust the timing of that? Can you trust the timing of that? The same time I was tuning in, I remember the book saying, you're gonna have the book in, like, you're gonna have me in your hand before your next birthday, right? Like, you're gonna have me. And that's actually still not that far away. And that was about, I reckon I tuned into this about October and November last year. Like, you're gonna have me in your hands by your birthday. Can you just trust me right now? Stop trying to force, okay? And I was like, loud and clear, yes, thank you, ma'am. And then after that, I just surrendered. I had a couple weeks off, and then as soon as I came back in, it was like on and it was potent again. And through that whole thing, the coolest thing about that guidance is that, yes, I now have the book in my hand before my birthday, and the publication date of my birthday, the publication date of my book is my birthday this year, which is the biggest trip. And the second biggest trip is that counting back from my birthday, back 9 months, is exactly when I started writing the book. So this has been a 9-month book pregnancy for me, and I was trying to force it at some parts, and it did call on new parts of me to surrender and be patient and to be trusting and to deepen my connection to my creativity and let the book vision really guide me through this and call things in. So I think that's the coolest part for me, is that it was loud and clear of like, stop trying to force out your baby when its legs aren't formed. It's gonna be here by your birthday, and the book's birthday is literally my birthday. So 9 months later, here we are, which is actually no time at all, but for an Aries, it's, a little bit of time. So hopefully those things really can support you. Those tips can really support you in your creative processes. I think I want to add a little bonus one here of just keep depositing energy into your vision no matter how big or small it looks. So some days I couldn't get any words out. Some days all I could do to deposit energy into my vision was send a text to a friend saying, I can't wait for you to read this book. Or for me to email my editor and say, hey, thanks, I can feel you supporting me right now and I'm having a bit of a weird day, but I'm gonna be back. It's gonna be all good. Or, you know, some days it would be me writing 3 chapters and some days it would be me on Pinterest looking for inspiration for my book tour, but all the time I was depositing energy into the full vision of it. Or I'd share a little snippet on my Instagram story or something like that to keep me in the energy of manifesting and in the energy of creating what I wanted to create before it's fully created, right? Which is what I always talk about, and I think I'd write it in the book. So yes, keep depositing energy no matter how big or small. Keep moving energy. Sit in ceremony with your creation when you feel stuck. Let the vision lead you. Take your hands off the wheel. Ask for higher guidance. Know when to rest, know when to rise, because creativity does not have a clock. It doesn't know how to tell the time. Let your creation bring out more of you and your strengths and your wisdom and your light and your radiance and your playfulness and your quirks and your badass and all of it. Let it bring more of you out, and trust in the timing, because the vision has a bird's eye view of everything and it knows better than you do. It knows better than you do. So trust in that. I really hope this helped you. And I can't wait to share my book with you very, very soon.